When she said it, "I'm divorcing him. I can't live on his pathetic salary," she didn't know I was standing outside the kitchen door. Her mother didn't even lower her voice. "Then take him for everything he has, darling. Don't look back." I didn't move, didn't breathe, just listened. The sound of her laughter, the woman I once swore to protect, turned sharp, metallic. It cut clean through the illusion I'd been living in. That was the night I stopped loving her and started studying her. We met 7 years ago. She was sunlight, bold, unafraid, the kind of woman who looked at a man like she was choosing his fate. I was an engineer, stable, deliberate. She said she admired that. I didn't realize she meant it as useful. She liked order, control, appearances. I gave her all three: a home she could decorate, a car she could show off, dinners where she could play the perfect wife. But love turned transactional somewhere between our second anniversary and her promotion. She began to look at me like a liability. The late-night texts started, work calls that lasted too long, silence that filled every room we shared. One evening, she came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. I didn't ask, I didn't accuse, I just watched, observed, logged every inconsistency like data. Because emotions cloud judgment, and I wasn't going to lose this battle on impulse. The first real proof came 3 weeks later, an unlocked tablet on the kitchen counter, messages to a man named Ethan. I read one line before I stopped. "Once the divorce is done, I'll finally be free." Free. She meant free from me. I closed the tablet, walked out, and that's when my plan began. Quiet, invisible, and perfectly legal. She wanted a divorce? Fine. I'd make it easy for her. Too easy. I agreed to everything she demanded: the house, the car, half my savings. My lawyer warned me, said I was walking into a trap. But he didn't understand. I was the one setting it. Because a month before the papers were drafted, I had already resigned, cashed out my company shares, and transferred everything into a new firm, one registered under my cousin's name. On paper, I was broke. In reality, I was liquid, untouchable. When her lawyer called for financial disclosure, I handed over my official documents. Everything looked legitimate: my salary, my tax returns, my recent resignation. She smiled when she saw the figures. I saw pity in her eyes. That was my reward. The divorce went through smoothly. She got the house, the car, and a tidy monthly settlement. She told her friends she'd outsmarted me, that she was finally rid of the man who slowed her down. I moved into a small apartment downtown. Plain, quiet, perfect. Nobody knew where I worked because, officially, I didn't. But behind that apartment door, I was running what used to be her world: the contracts, the networks, the money flow she'd never cared to understand. The company she thought was worthless had a pending patent, one she never asked about, one that got approved 6 months after the divorce. The payout? 7 figures, tax-free. And then came the call. Her lawyer phoned her on a Thursday morning. His voice was shaking. "Why didn't you tell me about this?" She didn't know what "this" was. He explained. The firm she'd dismissed in the divorce had just been acquired for millions. Her ex-husband, me, was the majority shareholder. She went silent. I imagine her standing in that house she fought for, surrounded by things she couldn't afford to keep. That same day, she called me. Her voice trembled, polite for the first time in years. You knew, didn't you?" I said nothing. Let her sit in the silence she'd built for herself. After a long pause, she whispered, "I made a mistake." I smiled. "You made a choice," and ended the call. A week later, I saw her by chance, outside a cafe we used to visit. She was thinner, alone. Her phone cracked, her nails chipped, the shine gone from her eyes. She looked at me like I was a ghost she'd accidentally summoned. I nodded once, not with anger, but closure. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just silence, the kind that echoes through the life of someone who underestimated you. Now, when people ask if I'd take her back, I laugh softly. She wanted freedom. I gave it to her, the kind that costs everything. And as for me, I sleep better now. Not because I won, but because I learned something priceless. Never fight fire with anger. Fight it with patience. Patience burns slower and lasts longer.